difficult, well-behaved women seldom make history. And so we were women who were misbehaving.
We were doing it for each other.
Whenever you represent your country, an immensely proud moment.
Now it is their right to be able to play.
I got involved in rugby by chance.
I had never been exposed to rugby. I played camogie, which is an Irish hurling game, since I was 11, but I decided I was going to try everything open to me. And these girls said, "You're sporty," they know sporty, "will you come and play rugby?" And I went, yeah.
Everybody in Wales is involved in Welsh rugby one way or the other. So I went to Welsh school and we had a PE teacher who played for Cardiff, it was all amateur then, and he said if any girls want to go and have a kickabout or a throwabout, come up to the top field. 48 hours later, the head teacher said, no girl will ever play rugby. Which, as history then tells us, was a bit short-sighted.
I think for me, I was just so naive. We didn't know what we were or what we should or we shouldn't do. So we didn't actually have anything that we couldn't do.
We just loved it though, to be able to run and use your body like that in a way, but also your brain.
We were self-funded and self-organised. None of the home nations had officially embraced women's rugby by then. So it was the Women's Rugby Football Union, the WRFU, and of course it was players who were also on that committee. Women's rugby was getting stronger. We knew it was played in other countries, so the next step up was an international fixture. However, they didn't feel that the teams were strong enough to have an individual home nations team. The notion was put forward it should be Great Britain, and anybody from the home nations that was selected would play under the banner of Great Britain. So that's how it all started. In the early stages, if we wanted something done, we had to do it ourselves.
We were all helping each other out, and but it was we didn't have many sessions. We didn't have any sports and conditioning coaches or anything like that. It was, are you good enough on the day, on the trial?
We paid for everything ourselves. We were totally self-funded.
There would be no hot water by the time it was our turn. We had to wash the shirts that the men wore before we could wear them, and then we had to return them washed again. They don't have to battle with that anymore. It is their right to be able to play. They don't have to convince anybody that they should be allowed to.
Rugby gives you an opportunity to feel good about yourself. And I think when we came together as GB, that's what mattered. There was the light ribbing, but being GB, the first GB team, playing France, that's what mattered. The French have a way of making you feel a bit uncomfortable. And you know, it's counterproductive. In their desire to knock you off balance, for example, oh no, you can't get into the changing rooms, you can't have your training pitch until 4 p.m, and we had turned up at 11 a.m, so we had to sit in the sun for 5 hours, and it turns out it was open all along. All that did was pull us close together. It just pulled us, all right, so the French are trying to do this, not a problem. We are as tight as anything.
I think they were a bit ahead of us. They were better in the beginning. They were more organised, they played for longer, very strong.
I remember thinking, we are a great team with these people, but boy, are France good. And they taught us a bit of a lesson that day. They didn't stop us because we beat them a couple of years later.
When we were girls, we didn't have people to look up to.
Nowadays, you look at how the teams are, the international teams, and you think, oh, well, it's different because that's their whole life. And I would say that was our whole life too.
I have wonderful memories of being a Great Britain international rugby player. That was of its time. That was history making. That was my moment. And I will cherish that for the rest of my life.
I am so proud to have the tiniest little bit to play in this women's game today. And every young girl I meet, I say, try it, just try it.